welcome to The People's Story. My name's Charlotte. I'm from the Soul Archive, and today for my very special guest I have DJ and promoter Cher, all the way from Canada. So thank you, Cher, for joining us today, and welcome. How are you today?
You. Thanks for having me. Great.
Oh, brilliant.
Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, so yeah, smiles all around. So today we just want to talk about you and your journey on the Northern Soul scene and how you got into it. Personally, I think you're quite an inspirational young female on the scene who DJs and promotes. So yeah, I just wanted to share your story on with the Soul Archive, especially with being all the way from Canada as well. So let's get to basics.
Okay.
So when and how did you get into Northern Soul?
Well, yeah, like I was saying before we started, I guess like my first intro to Northern Soul was 20 years ago when I was living in Liverpool briefly. I was out with some friends one night in a bar, and Gloria Jones' Tainted Love came on, and of course I had never heard that version before yet, well, the original version. So I was like, who is this singer, and like, what version is this? And they looked at me like I had two heads, like, what, you never heard of this before? And they're like, this is Northern Soul. I'm like, what's Northern Soul? So that was kind of like my very first intro to it. And then I guess, I mean, I've always been in soul since a kid, because my mom and dad, they listened to it all the time, like with the classic Motown and everything like that. But I guess it really got into Northern hardcore probably 5 years back. Me and Brandon, my husband Brandon, we were in Chicago for the weekend, and every time we go someplace, I look up like soul nights, and I saw this one, Windy City Soul Club, that they were doing their Northern Soul Night. And yeah, we went in and we were completely blown away. It was nothing like we had ever experienced in Canada. Just like the DJs and their collections, like we couldn't stop talking about it afterwards, and just like how much we wish we had something like that similar in Toronto. And the dancing, like just proper Northern Soul dancing, it was just like, oh my God. And yeah, there was no going back after that.
So when you first heard Northern Soul in Liverpool, did you actually go to any soul events when you were there? No.
No, and I wish I could go back in time, because like I'm sure there was like a lot going on, and I always say this too when I think of back, like cities or towns I've been in. If I could go back in time and like go record digging too, because I imagine all the records I could have found when I was there. But yeah, I didn't at the time. But the bar that I was in, they just played like a couple off, but it's almost like with you guys, yeah, everybody knows Northern Soul over there, and it's just it's so unique for us that when we hear it, it's like, what is this?
But to be honest, Liverpool historically isn't like a hub for Northern Soul. Yeah, even though like Wigan is, an hour away from there. I don't know, just Northern Soul never really got big there until recent years. So yeah, that's absolutely crazy, because imagine if you never went to Liverpool, you wouldn't have maybe never heard that track or got into Northern Soul. So that's pretty, it's like coincidence. It was meant to be, wasn't it? Okay, so what was the record that did it for you, that made you think, well, this is it, this is where I'm supposed to be?
Oh gosh, like it's so hard to like name just one or two. I mean, some of them, I mean, I don't necessarily own these ones, but like tracks like Sam D's Lonely for You Baby, like the Salvadors, Stick by Me Baby, like I call them like the goosebump effect songs. There's certain ones that it's just like, and when I heard those for the first time, it was like nothing I had ever heard before, and I was just like, I have to go down this rabbit hole now.
So before you got into soul music and Northern Soul, what were your like hobbies and interests? Was your life completely different?
Uh, Yeah, well, like I've been collecting records for like God, almost 25 years now. So I had always been doing that. And yeah, like I said, my mom and dad were always playing soul, so I grew up with that. My dad grew up in the 60s, so he always had like these funny stories to go along with the songs and everything. And then my brother actually, he's a professional musician now, and he's a bassist, and one of his main inspirations is actually James Jamerson. So both of us kind of grew up with that, so it was always there. And but yeah, Northern Soul, before Northern, I could say like things like I definitely have like now so much more friends because of it. Me and Brandon are just so much more active with like the dancing, and yeah, so things like that. It's like I didn't have that before Northern Soul.
Is Brandon into soul music as well? Is he as much into it as you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm more like both of us love collecting, but he's like really into the dancing aspect of it, so that's great. It's like I'll play them and
Yeah,
you
that's
can
like me and
dance.
Jordan, but he's more the DJ
Yeah.
and I'm more the dancer. Okay, so next question. So you was talking about Windy Soul Club and then like soul events over in America. So you've been to a few in America. So just tell us a bit more about that. What's like give us a bit more context, like what the type of
Yeah,
venue, type of DJs. I'd love to know if there's a bit of a comparison to the ones in the UK.
yeah, I mean, well, I can like in Canada, I can only really speak for Toronto area, but like a typical venue here would be like a pub or a bar. So we don't have like that luxury of a nice big dance hall here yet. Um, we do have some of those venues, so I always have like fantasies of like one day doing like a weekender or an all-nighter at one of them. But yeah, so for now, a typical venue here is like a pub or a bar. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's springing up all over like to the country, like um, here in Toronto. I guess like a typical soul night, like popular soul nights here. They kind of play like a mix of like your popular soul Motown stacks, and they kind of mix it up with the 60s girl groups, the mod, garage. Um, so as far as like Northern Soul nights, that's still new, and that's actually the main reason why I started Slow Fizz, because I wanted something similar to what I experienced in Chicago with Windy City, where it was like all Northern and rare, full on, like no mix of anything else. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I've spoken to a few people from America about soul events, and they've always said like it's quite more like a chin strokey type of a venue. Like most venues, you don't see the dancing and that kind of like hot, sweaty, like I don't know, kind of
Yeah.
night vibe. So yeah, so is it kind of more tame than what you've experienced, like what you see in the UK?
Yeah, well, I mean, so like I said, like the popular soul nights with the more mainstream and popular soul, um, they those venues do get they're popular with like the university crowd, and they'll fill up and everything. But yeah, it's more like you said, not as there's not as much emphasis on the dancing so much. So, but there's always people like that are that come out for that. So when like at the Slow Fizz event we had last year, or when I had a residency with another night, you'd always see some people watching me and Brandon, and they'd be like, what's that dance you're doing? So I'm always like, I'll teach you five-minute lesson here on the spot, because I'm trying so hard to like get people enthusiastic about it.
Well, yeah, it's like you're trying to spread awareness about Northern Soul in America, which is obviously not as well known, and Canada, obviously.
Because
I
it's
hope,
like I mean, like you when you're Northern Soul dancing, you're in your own kind of world, but it's so much better when you have like a full dance floor.
Have you
type of experience.
have you been to the UK and done a soul venue yet? No.
I haven't yet. We were supposed to go last June to the Blackpool International Soul
the
Weekend.
Winter Gardens one.
Yeah. So hopefully, if not this year, next year. But yeah, I was going to mention one of our, like, to get that weekender fix, there's a really good one. We go south to America in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's the Keystone Northern Soul Weekender. And that, I mean, even like that's put on by our friend Julio, and Dave Raistrick is also there. And a lot of Brits come over for it and say it's what you would experience in the UK. And yeah, we went last year, and I had the time of my life. It was amazing.
Oh, it's such a shame. You need to move to the UK.
I know. I'm like, oh God.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So talking about venues and things like that, if you could go to any Northern Soul venue, whether it's in America, Canada, or worldwide, the UK, where would you go?
Probably anywhere at one of your weekenders in Blackpool. I'd love to go to a Bury weekender or all-nighter if we were over there at the same time. Yeah, one of your and Jordan's events, that would be awesome. So
that sounds good.
And hopefully one day we'll have like a weekender or all-nighter in Canada. That would be great.
We all know Northern Soul's, well, in the UK certainly is. Northern Soul's like a very male-dominated scene, and you're obviously a female DJ and promoter, and I was just wondering, do you experience that over there in Canada?
Well, because the scene is like very tiny here, it's you don't experience it on the same level, I guess. But like in general, like just general DJ wise in Toronto, it's very male dominated, and the few that do have Northern Soul, yeah, I'm kind of outnumbered there as well. But I mean, it's dominated, but you just kind of have to make I don't know, an area for yourself, I guess. I don't know. I've been able to kind of manage it.
You certainly have, especially throughout lockdown, because, like, to be honest, I didn't know much about you before lockdown, and then throughout lockdown, I don't know, our paths have certainly crossed, and we've gotten to know each other throughout. So yeah, it's been lovely.
I've gotten to know so many people. Like, I've gotten to know them better and met new people. Like I met Carol McCarthy through it. It's just been great. Yeah,
it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise, really, because everyone's been able to stop and actually, I don't know, take the time to know people outside of their little circle. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so as a DJ, where'd you go digging for vinyl? Because obviously you're at the hub of soul music.
Well, in Toronto, we've got a few great locations. The main one that we love here, it's called Cops, and they've got a few locations, and they're really well known for their Northern and rare soul collections. So we love that. There's a place in Toronto called Henry's. That's another great spot for Northern. In our neighboring town in Hamilton, there's a record store called Stardust that we go to, but like I said, like we like to take road trips. So like Detroit, that's like People's Records. You have to go there if you're a Northern Soul collector or fan. You definitely have to go there. And when New York City, there's tons of great record stores there. A place called Human Head and Superior Elevation. That's another great one. I don't know. I think like Detroit too has been pretty picked over by now, but when we're there, we end up getting like one or two, so it's nice.
Yeah, I bet you do find some good bargains over there as well.
Yeah. And it's great too, because a lot of these places, I mean, especially I think with lockdown, they have like their own Discogs site as well, so you can find them on there. We've got, actually, we're really lucky, a great seller here. His name's Ben Schulman, And
Oh, but
I
I've
think
met Ben. He came
yeah,
to Swinton All Nighter. Yeah, he's a
yeah,
great
he's great.
partner. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has like eBay auctions from time to time, and yeah, I've bought a lot off Ben. He's great.
Oh, so is he quite local to you in Canada?
He's not far. He's in Montreal. It's a 5-hour drive, but we drive everywhere in Canada, so we're
Oh,
we're used to it.
oh God, that's such a journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're not only an enthusiast, you're a DJ, you're a promoter, and you're an influencer. So as a female DJ, what would you like advise young female DJs?
Yeah, I guess like a DJ wise, like even if you're not just like a Northern Soul DJ, but just get to know people in your city or in your town. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to take up a little space, because there's lots of space to go around. Sometimes people make you feel like there isn't, but there is. Yeah, and DJing or just being a part of the scene, if you can't, especially with, sorry, Clyde, my dog is whining. if you can't find like northern soul scene in your town or city, just reach out. Especially now, like I said, with like social media, it's such a great like global community. You'll find, chances are you'll find something not far away, you know. So yeah,
That's some lovely advice, and I wish I heard that when I first came on the scene.
yeah.
Definitely. So let's talk about the Slow Fizz events. They seem to be a hub for young people. I've seen a few videos and pictures, and I really want to go. So tell me more about it. How did you come around it? How did you find the venue? Is it just you? I think you said I think I read somewhere that it's mainly all female DJs. So yeah, just tell us more about that.
Yeah, so we had our, it's you make me blush because we really just started a year ago. It's
Well,
kind
yeah,
of
you
like,
had your anniversary during lockdown, didn't you? Which is such a
yeah,
shame.
well, our anniversary is actually next month, but yeah, that was great. I had some friends come up from Detroit, and another one flew up all the way from Texas for it. Yeah, I knew one of the venues in Toronto. It's called Handlebar, sorry. And it's just it's a bar, but it's got a nice little dance floor, and it's really cozy. It's off the beaten track, so I knew the venue owner there, and we had a good relationship. So they were happy to let me do that there. And like that was also too, they were willing to keep that night going, but unfortunately with COVID that all happened. So yeah, but the main goal too was to have a night with primarily female DJs. Friends and guys are welcome too. I just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more inclusive for women and girls. Even if it was, say, a DJ, you're not a DJ yet, you're thinking of it, something like that. Like I play the Northern and Rare Soul, but some friends play garage, some friends play early reggae. So I kind of opened it up for that too. And if you wanted to come out and give it a try, yeah, I was just kind of trying to make it more inclusive.
That just sounds absolutely amazing, because in the UK, it's very rare you find a female on the DJ lineup, and slowly in the last few years you do find it more often. And
Yeah.
and I think like some promoters go out the way and say have a girls' night or something, girls' DJ night, and which is a great idea, but actually there should always be a female on your DJ lineup. So
Yeah.
that's so progressive and forward thinking, and I really hope the UK take a little bit of your magic from that. So
Yeah.
so we've just spoke about lockdown, so tell us how you've coped.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I just kind of rolled with the punches from the start. At first I tried a bit of everything. I did something on Instagram, like a little live stream there. We did a brunch thing where I shared the video stream with friends, and we kind of did like a double decking on Instagram thing. Then I did some more on Facebook, and I guested on friends' live streams. And then out of that, I had the idea for, in July, we did the first Slow Fizz live stream all dayer with all female DJ lineup. Carol McCarthy was on that, so that's great. Like, I was thinking, what world am I living in where I can get Carol McCarthy on the lineup? And I'm still so shocked when I ask people, can you guest? And they say yes right away. I'm like, you can think about it. It's okay. But yeah, it was great. They all said yes. And so we had that went over great. And after that, let's keep the momentum going. So we started the Slow Fizz Sunday sessions. And that was basically just 2 hours of usually about 4 DJs back to back. Yeah, we had some guys on too. Graham from Liverpool was on. That was great.
Yeah, we're hoping to have Graham on here to interview.
Yeah. Yeah. And so lockdown, like you said, it's been a blessing in disguise. Like, it just kind of forced you out of your comfort zone, but it's been great. And probably I have to say that one of the highlights of the year was doing Bury. That was great. When Jordan asked me, I was like, I pinched myself. I'm like, really? That was great.
Yeah, to be honest though, like with like the Bury and things like this that we're doing, we are trying to choose the people who have, although we're in lockdown, they've still really supported soul music throughout, regardless of whether they're on the dance floor or not. And you certainly have done that. Like, you've literally, I feel like you've flourished on the UK soul scene, definitely. So and that's why we just wanted you involved, because you are so supportive of all the live streams that I've been on in the UK anyway. But yeah, that's good. So you definitely had your soul fix anyway, haven't you, during lockdown?
Yeah, definitely.
So where are you going next? What have you got planned? Anything?
So hopefully we'll get back into the same venue. We'll see what happens there and get it. I mean, hopefully, like, if I can make it like a monthly or every couple months, that would be great. I also, there's a really great venue in Hamilton, our neighboring city. They have an amazing venue called the Casbah, and I know the venue owner there. They have a great dance floor and great sound system. So that would be great if it's another option, hopefully. But and I love traveling too. So hopefully get to do some more guest spots. I did the one in Pennsylvania last year. It got actually 2 years ago, but it got canceled, the one that just passed. So hopefully I can do that again next year. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully more DJ bookings and going traveling. That sounds really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we finish off with My Life in 5 Records, is there anything do you want to shout out to anyone, or just big up anyone or anything?
Yeah, I guess again, hi to all my friends from the Keystone State Northern Soul Weekender, Julio, Vincent, everybody there, Al, Connie.
Sorry,
everybody, all the guest DJs that have been a part of the Slow Fizz live streams this year. It's been like, Clyde, calm down. Yeah, all the DJs that have been a part of the Slow Fizz live streams this year. It's been great, and I couldn't have done it without them. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so now it's to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to talk about your Life in 5 Records. I stole this idea from Dean Anderson and his podcast. So all credit goes to him. So the first one is your all-time favorite soul record.
Oh God. Yeah, like I said, I don't have this one, but Sam D's Lonely for You Baby, Gwen Owens, Just Say You're Wanted, don't have that one either, but yeah, I love those ones. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're absolute
so hard.
classics. It's difficult.
Changes every day too.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm like, sometimes I forget the names though. I'm like,
yeah,
what's my favorite record again?
Yeah, and I try and sing a bit of the lyrics to Brandon. He's like, it's just this. So
Okay, so your next one, your guilty pleasure.
Okay. Don't laugh, but it's probably The Night by Frankie Valli. Like,
that's a good record. I don't think that's a guilty pleasure. I think that's,
I mean, it's funny because like I started playing it only a couple years ago here, but now it's kind of overplayed here at some of the nights. But I can't help it. As soon as I hear the bass line, I'm like, oh, like I perk right up.
I know what you mean. Some just, I don't know, they're quite comforting, and I don't know, they're quite humbling as well, because they remind you when you first started out. Okay, so your next one, your favorite record to either DJ with or dance to.
I guess more recently this year, the Jive 5, Your Puzzle. I love that one. And the 4 Pros, Just Another Girl. I love that one as well. Yeah.
Oh, they're great tunes. Okay, so the song that makes your ears bleed, the one that you hate the most.
Probably The Snake by Al Wilson.
Oh, do you know what? Everyone says that, to be honest. And I think it's just because it's a bit, I don't know, cliche and cringy a little bit, because it is overplayed, but
yeah,
it is still good, you know, it's still got like,
yeah, it's still good. Yeah.
But I think Trump ruined that one for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last and final record is a record that makes that you associate with a favorite memory.
Probably there's a couple. The Delacardos, I Know I'm Not Much. That was one of the first records I played at my first DJ gig, so that one always brings back good memories for me. And probably another big one is The Incredibles, There's Nothing Else to Say. I played that a couple years ago at the Keystone Weekender, and it filled the dance floor, and I was kind of like the new kid on the block. So when I played that, I was like, oh, I've arrived, I've been accepted. So that one always brings back really good memories.
Oh, that just sounds really nice. Oh, well, thank you so much, Cher, for joining me today and being my first guest.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy to have like a female boss on the Northern Soul scene to be my first guest. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone who's tuning in to the Soul Archive on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe below. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Charlotte.